event, you know, everyone's a winner. I'm gonna just do Furia then, just because then. But actually, I was also gonna say Ence. Realistically, just I don't
just doing it now.
because it's you know, listen, because you know. All this is out the window. It doesn't really matter at the end. If I end up losing this prediction, it doesn't really matter. It's all fun and games, right?
There's no accountability.
But like I said, there are some winning conditions for Furia here, right? But I do think the main man here, Arc, really needs to show up and step up if Furia were to win the third map.
Well, the main men of the moment right now are going to be none other than Dinko and Haka. They've got the honors for the last game of the semifinals.
Thank you very much, Matt. Yes, I'm looking forward to hopping into this. Last map for us Hawk as well here at this charity tournament. It's been an absolute blast so far, but we're jumping into the pistol. One of these teams will be heading to the grand final. The other, unfortunately, will not be. Kesserado getting a good start. That's going to be Spinks down. Plant's starting to come in, but Art, he was the player that Destro highlighting. For Flan said it just a moment ago. He has to be the player to deliver, and he hasn't done it in the pistol just yet.
Otto seeing what he can do. It's an extended fight, but one he will win. And the Furia players remaining are both low on health. Kesserado seems to have lagged out. It's gone about as badly as it could have for Furia on the pistol round. Ence overrun that A-bomb site. And unfortunately for Furia, I think we're going to have a quick tech pause here to get that all sorted.
Yeah, nice little breather as well, Hawk, to collect our thoughts coming into this. Kesserado definitely looked like the victim of some network issues right there, so hopefully we'll get back onto the server and get the action going very soon. But coming into this, Maui is incredibly confident that it's going to be Ence taking the win here on Vertigo. Are you feeling the same way?
I'm not incredibly confident, but that's the way I'm leaning right now with this Ence team. I think they're good enough to get the win here. Like Maui was saying, their recent results on Vertigo are actually really good.
So Maui just has more conviction, is what you're saying, Hawk, at this point.
Sure, but he might be wrong. I mean, he also said that Hades is just guaranteed to show up, so I can't wait for Hades to just have the worst game of his Vertigo career.
Well, Maui's been pretty on point today in terms of that first series. He's talking about Siriusum T-oping on Vertigo. So, you know, there's a lot that Maui was getting right a little bit earlier on today. So I think I'll side with him. I feel like Ence should have this, you know, stats-wise. It looks like they're on much better form coming into Vertigo as well. When they're riding this wave of hype, especially when you bring a new player in, it can definitely be exciting to watch. I in particular want to see D-Hat play a little bit better than he did over on Intrin. I think I was looking at the team chat just as we're having a quick discussion back and forth between the teams before this game got started, and D-Hat was kind of laughing about his performance over on Intrin, obviously admitting that he didn't play the best. But it's good that he's sort of recognized that. Hopefully it's just a one bad map from him and he can hop right back into this as we do, as we're into the action again. It's Ence who are currently in a much better situation when it comes to the purchase. Actually winning a pistol round. Furia win the pistol rounds, but they never win the force buys. Now Ence come into play.
Art's got the good old Zeus. He used to almost always get a Zeus kill, I feel like, on CT side Vertigo, because he'd just jump into the ladder room a lot of the time, and teams just didn't seem to be ready for it. But I think they've started to realize that you can't be going in those close range angles now. Flash at the ready from Kesserado. I like that they've got one flash here, a chance to swing and maybe cause some chaos. Unfortunately, Ence are pretty well prepared for it though, completely shutting it down.
It's a beautiful clean round coming in from Ence. D-Hat with a little tap as well under the head of Kesserado, but here goes Art. Can he get a Zeus kill? He can, he gets one. I love that. That's what he set himself up for the whole round, was just getting into that cubby. And I did notice something on the way out there. UMP skin of Spinks is actually the same skin as your favorite AUG skin, but over on the UMP this time, Hawkus. There's more of it. There's a whole collection.
Didn't even know that existed until now. My day's been ruined.
Absolutely devastated. Do you have another tech issue though? Kesserado, I believe information from production has told us that Kesserado's PC crashed a little bit earlier on, and he got back into the server so quickly, so clearly his PC is better than mine.
Hey, you'd hope so. Pretty important to have a good PC. That's your workstation if you are a professional CSGO player. In come the rifles for Furia though. A chance for these M4s to show us what they can do. and maybe the FAMAS of Honda, who's gone down to the weaker rifle to get the full nades and the kit. And he's also got the smoke lineup early. Art will be playing on this A site, as the desk pointed out, but I don't know if he'll get too many chances for early fights here with all these nades coming through.
You could just look at the T-side differences from Ence now versus over on Ancient, and I have to agree with Maui, who was saying that if you look at Snappy's T-side that was being called, it just felt a little lackluster from the get-go. And on T-side Vertigo, just within the first couple of rounds, I see a lot more conviction. I see a lot more confidence in what they're doing. Just it's more assertive already in the first couple of rounds on this T-side. So I'm expecting a much better game out of Ence. As long as they put all their rounds together at the beginning of this, get the flawless 3-0, they'd be off to the perfect start. And that's when things can click into place for Ence. The thing about Furia is they're so good at disrupting your game plan. They're so good at getting in there and ruining things that you've had planned. They've got to do that here. 45 seconds left. They're down a player, and Ence are coming into the site. Yuri's been unchecked at short, but hasn't got a kill. Instead, it's Vinny that's been able to find one through the smoke, and a second coming in as well.
A lineup at the ready from Honda. This could be nice. Spinks is the one man who had health, but half of it's been taken away from him. All the Ence players pretty low in this post plant.
You know when you're going to plant the bomb, you have to have some health on Vertigo, because you're about to get bombarded with utility. So luckily it was Spinks up there with 100 HP. That secures the 3v3 into the post plant, and Furia running over the top, attempting this retake. They've tapped, and there's a smoke up. That's going to create pressure now for Ence to realize, okay, they're off the bomb at this moment in time, but we're losing players left, right, and center, and Spinks, he's going to play this one so well, just dropping back. Kesserada does have a kit, but he's tapped and pulled into the open, and Spinks in with a headshot. Ence get the third round in a row. It's not that clean. They leave it down to just one player, barely enough health, but it's beautifully played there by Spinks in the last few moments.
I've been impressed by not just Spinks as an individual and his aim, but by his positioning and decision making at times. I think he goes a bit under the radar in that aspect of his game, but for such an inexperienced player, I rarely see him taking bad decisions or making too many mistakes.
Apart from his mustache.
Well, you can't call that a mistake. That's just a choice, you know?
I mean, I'm only joking. Mustache, it's looking on point. I wish I could. I'm just jealous, Alex. I can't grow a mustache.
Sure. Snappy's not got a mustache. He's clean shaven for aerodynamics as he goes in first with the Mac-10. Changes out to the AK now, but the flank of Honda is not expected. Nice shot onto the first, but all three T's swing him at once, and that means there's a team kill. Oh dear.
Not good at all, but Spinks, can he make up for it? Can he make up for the error of taking his own teammate out of play? They need to, because this is not a round you should be losing if you're Ence. And that's what Furia can do. That's what Honda likes to do, is get in behind, create a little bit of chaos. He thrives in that. Gives his team a chance, but Spinks starting to pull it back now. Opportunity onto Art taken. And Furia are going to start bringing some players over to bolster the defense on A. And it will just be Yuri and Kesserada left. The two players you talk about just battling for the top spot on this team. They've got to play together. And Kesserada, he's got that HE grenade. Spinks this time is on 14 HP as he goes for the bomb plant. As soon as that starts to come through, he will be knitted to smithereens, surely by Kesserada. That's him out of that. That kill coming in is not going to deny the plan, but it does turn it into the 1v2 now for Dodo.
Gonna play this angle to begin with. Good headshot. And now he's got a chance to see if he can get the follow-up, which he will. Dotto playing out in the open, ready for both players on the same angle. Another round that comes somewhat close, but so far, Ence have done their bit in these clutch scenarios. They've held on. It's a 4-0 lead for Ence early, getting off to that good start we were hoping for.
Furia have brought it close in a lot of them though, right? Every A plant, post plant is not really looked too comfortable. They're having to win out these clutches. And now with Art with a big green in his hand, he's opened things up onto Hades. That's the head-to-head we were looking for, but it's Snappy and Dodo we maybe didn't account for as much. They've just quickly taken over the B-Stars. And that throws a huge curveball to Furia. started so well with the initial kill of Art, but now they're handed what is going to be a difficult round because Vinny is the only player playing inside of the B site, and he's got an MP9 up against the rifles, and he's not able to get anything from it, nearly taking Snappy out of play. So it does get damage, I suppose.
Oh. Nice shot from Honda. Spinks having to turn around. Oh, wow. Spinks turning onto 2 players. Lovely work from him. 5-0 lead for Ence. It's all going swimmingly to start us off. And unlike the Maui Snake promised, Dinko, Hades is actually bottom of the board right now. It's early, though, so we'll give
Has that become your priorities now?
That's all I care about at this point.
No longer cares about the semi-final, last map, or the best of 3. It's just, is Maui Snake going to be wrong? I mean, that would give you a lot more personal satisfaction, wouldn't it?
I like Ence. I want both to happen, okay? How about that?
I mean, that could happen. That could happen. We could have a big step up from the likes of D-House, Spinks instead. Snappy was delivering some beautiful shots over on Ancient. So that could continue and transfer into this map. I would be very excited to see that. Beautiful flybys of Vertigo. As we once again have a technical issue. We'll get that resolved as quickly as possible. I really do love the evolution of camp paths. I think PGL Major was the first time we've seen it. I think 2017, around that time, was the first time we started to see really focus in on the cinematics and the custom HUDs and really elevating the in-game experience. And it's cool to see how much has really leveled up. I think ESL, who are currently doing production for this one, have really got one of the best in-game teams in the world now. They've assembled some of the best guys we've got around and never really miss anything anymore. Oh, Maui is so confident as well, Hawker, because he's just messaged into the group to remind us what prediction he had come up with.
Okay,
so
what was it?
He's so confident that it's going to be 16-9 for Ence. And he wants to remind us so we could tell the people at home that's how confident Maui is that this will finish that way. So far, so good for Maui Snake right now. You would have to expect 9 rounds to come out of Furia. You gotta win a few of those. But there have been a few close rounds, so it's not like this has been a dominant 5-0 from Ence. This is certainly not be. But they have won those first 5 rounds, and the more you do that, the more economic problems start to come in for Furia. But we always talk about when you see these close games to have a misleading one-sided scoreline, often it only takes 1 or 2 rounds to break the economy of your opponents, and then the game opens up again.
Here we go, back into the action. Here is Org currently positioned towards A as the main rifle that Furia have to work with. They also have the scout of Vinny, but it's not quite the same. Yuri's taken early damage though. That was a nade that flew his way. And he's still seeing if he can find a fight. Hades has the orb on the other side, and he's aware of the angle. Nice play from Hades. Long range fight, always going to be good for the orb.
Great awareness of what angle to choose and how to play out that scenario. But look at Vinny. Oh, looking under the medal. He does spot a couple of players. That's information passed on to Art, who loves to go over the top. You know, often you'll see a player hide in behind that corner. Art goes over the top of it to try and take the fight. And you see why many players choose to be a little bit more passive in that position. Art just gets overwhelmed, spammed down, and has lost his life. And with 44 seconds left, it is the 2-man advantage for Ence. Where do they finish is the question. And they're going back up the ramp, in towards the A site. Honda's got one onto Dodo, but the rest of the cavalry are coming in. Can he hold on against them?
Oh, apparently not, because Diha hits him with the headshot. And now Keserato's trying to plug the gap. He's recovered the Org, seeing what he can do with it. But Ence, with 20 seconds remaining, should get that bomb down safely. Snappy was in the open, but Keserato out of ammo. And it's not going to go well for Furia in the end. Final kills for Ence are good. And all in all, 6-0 lead. Now you get the bye against you, but it's been a really strong start here.
This is the perfect start for Ence, obviously, but like you said, the fight coming in now for Furia. this is where we'll get to see if there is going to be a challenge on this first half, because if you go out of this gun round again, Furia, without really not getting your first round on the board, I do really start to worry for them. Because they have had a lot of these close rounds, so I'm not exactly fully worried right now. I feel like they've still got some gas in the tank, but they have to start getting round wins. They can't just be bringing them down to 1v1s, 1v2s. They have to start winning rounds. And round 7 would be the perfect time to do that. Mid-tier coming in for Ence. They've got Snappy and Spinks taking mid-control, and Vinny. Oh, Vinny, he's gone down quickly, and that's opened things up. Snappy not wasting any time. He runs in, and maybe a little too quick, because Casterado and Art have just found kills between them, and this round has flipped on its head. Once a great start for Ence, now looking fantastic for Furia.
Another one for Casterado, and Hades sitting on the other side of the smoke may get a fair fight, but Casterado so quick with the AK. Instant headshot delivered, which is exactly what he needed to do. Finally, we get to see something out of one of the Furia players. A moment of magic, which is exactly what they needed to put themselves back in this game. Especially because Ence didn't have massive money in the bank. They're in a position where they actually already have Snappy down to a Tech 9. And if they were to lose this one, they could easily be forced back down to a low buy.
Oh, Snappy trying to get the under metal fight with the Tech 9, eventually does, and it's the headshot onto Yuri. A 5 versus 4. Did start with an initial kill, Snappy, in the previous round, and it so quickly went back into the hands of Furia. And just as I say that, Honda comes in with this headshot. Art on the edge of the smoke's not far off that kill. The spam just missing by a fraction. HE grenade soars in and catches Hades, bringing his health down to 56. And maybe this mid play is the only way into the round for Ence. Spinks has the pressure on his shoulders to do it. Looking down in towards elevator. Honda is the first player Spinks shall find in mid. Molotov into construction, and that's enough to call Ence away from the A side. They're going to be going elsewhere.
Later stages of the round, but you can play between the sites on Vertigo. And Ence are trying to do that here, running their way in towards B. Vinny, nice kill onto the first player, and he tucks back into cover. Could help to slow Ence down here, as that time continues to start to become a factor. Art's holding from mid, but 2 kills for Ence leave Art in a retake scenario with the bomb being planted. He's got a lot to do here.
I think that's an understatement. Luckily has the kit. Slowly sliding his way down construction. No idea that he's here right now, but now they do. Loud exclamation from Art, but nothing found yet. And with that time ticking, his opportunities are running dry. It's not looking like Art is going to find anything here. D-Hat quickly in with the headshot. D-Hat has definitely not let that inch of performance affect him mentally. Look at this comeback. Redemption Arc heading into the third map. 11-5 on the board now for just D-Hat. The closest on his team is Spinks, who's currently on 9 kills, 4 deaths, and then in behind that is Dodo, followed by Snappy and Hades. So, I have to say, D-Hat, I'm impressed by the mental fortitude to come out of that. He's got a great positive attitude, and I think you mentioned that earlier, Hawker, just you've got a team full of great youngsters with potential, but also have great attitudes.
Ooh, Spinks not ready for the wide swing. Oh, from Vinny Ali. Oh, the lineup from Art is devastating. Ence are going to be in a real pickle now in this round. A 2v5 to try and turn back from. And we're only 20 seconds into the round.
A lot happening at the start of this one. But it's all Furia. Their carnival in round 9. Dodo and Hades. I've got to find some way back into the round for Ence. Maybe this kill on Yuri could be the first domino to fall, and even then, it holds strong. It's super glued down. This is Hades. That's been quiet. That is AK. Not as trusty AWP in this scenario, but you would prefer the AK in some of these close angles, especially with so many players around. 45 seconds here. He starts to look for his opportunities. He's worried about the potential flank from behind, and as he should be, but no one is there right now. You just always hate to be in these scenarios. It's always just awaiting your death, awaiting your execution. It eventually comes in, and that's Furia getting their second on the board, and it's a clean round from them. Nothing could have went wrong for them there. We just started off well. Art getting the collateral. Just beautiful stuff from Furia as they add another to the board.
And that's the sort of aggression I was talking about earlier that Art can do on Vertigo, where he just takes the AWP and pushes these close angles. You never really expect it from most players in the world, but Art's one of the few that likes to do it and can do it so consistently. And that puts Ence down to the position we were talking about previously, where a full investment doesn't look too hot for them. They've got the 1 AK out onto their AWPer in Hades, while everyone else has pistols. But at least they've got early ramp control this time, and at least they haven't lost 3 players within the first 20 seconds this time.
Honda has got one. Oh, these angles are always difficult. Once you commit to that, you can very easily go down just because you have so many heads popping up all over the show. And Honda just could not commit to a second fight and does go down quickly. Luckily, Yuri was there to assist him and get the trade kills and make sure Furia don't hemorrhage anymore. And now just Dodo, guns flying past him. Free AK-47, he'll take that. But it doesn't really stick with him long. Doesn't live long enough to enjoy his retirement. 7-3. Finally, Furia getting a string of rounds together. And like I said, because it was so close in a lot of these rounds, because damage was being done consistently, those are the 2 rounds in a row that has put that economy into question for Ence, and they don't have any money to play with here. So Furia can actually get a bit of a streak going maybe on the CT side.
Yeah, they really should from this point, considering the 4 Glocks that Ence will be rocking in this round. Not sure what you can even call at this point on the Ence side. I guess you're waiting for Diha to deeg someone, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can often rely on that, so I think it's a fair enough strategy. Also, you could just slow this down, right, and use it as a bit of a pause to talk about what you want to do once the guns come out again. Maybe some of the adaptations Furia have been throwing at them, what Ence can do to counter it. I think some of the aggression's been working out, some of these early fights have been working out for Furia. So if Ence come up with any ideas around that, how can they negate that Furia issue? That really will be the question in their minds, and we'll get to find out the answer in the next round, but not in this one. Art, though, taking quite a bit of damage.
Molly didn't even land on the map, it bounced back. Queserato having to help out on the rifle assistance, and Art's there in the back lines, finally landing some shots and shutting down the round as you would expect. Furia up to 4, but now Ence will get a chance back with another buy.
And this is the chance to see, is there any changes for Ence? Have they figured out what Furia are doing? Because there has been a few rounds now where they just lose those early fights, and that's something that Ence were doing very well at the beginning of this. You remember back how Hades was getting some of those openings into ramp. They'd love to make that consistent, but once again, losing the Beast as it's Art aggressive alongside Queserato, and Furia have won the Battle of Ramp, they've won the Battle of B. This is a great start for the Brazilians.
Oh, Diha trying to fight back. The timing not quite right, and Hades has a chance to have some impact now on that lurk through mid. Diha's still fighting on B. That's taking the attention away from Hades, but Honda is aware of the possibility, and that fight being won puts Furia in a much better position.
Diha will be the front man in this recovery mission. Is it even possible, is the question I have. And right now, it seems unlikely. They go around the corner. Oh, Diha, nice headshot, but couldn't quite follow up. It has to be Dodo, and he's taking significant damage getting that trade kill onto Yuri. Bomb plant starts to come in, it's secured, and that's money in the bank account, but now Dodo, he turns it into the 1v1, just couldn't slip away. Art coming in with a double kill, secures the round for Furia, and Ence somehow get that into a 1v1. I don't know how they've done it, but the start was so good from Furia, just unfortunate again from Ence that they just had such a poor start.
Counter-terror.
Yeah, that's such a shame because they did work really hard to make that close at the end there. Furia looking better
now.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Furia had to win some rounds eventually for his prediction.
Yeah, but they have to win 4 more, and that's all they can win across the rest of this map. So that was Maui. I get a little bit sweaty. Gotta get those fans out. I know he has a few rounds in Hawaii, and you know we're not talking about human beings. We're talking about mechanical fans.
Ooh,
he has a few fans too.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2. Nice shot from Kesera, a secondary AWP out. Vinny playing that off angle on top of the sandbags. This was a round where Ence had no real utility, so they just tried to take fights. It's gone against them, and now this boost will eventually work out for Furia. They have to topple it to get that kill, but it's fallen pretty flat here for Ence, honestly. Yep. They're having a couple of rounds now where the early trades are just not going their way whatsoever.
Yeah, they're non-existent is what the early trades are, right? They're just not getting these kills back, and it's because Furia do this really unorthodox thing where they just push both sides of the map, right? They have players at bottom ramp, bottom B stairs. There's no balance. It's just aggression all over the place. And the only weakness, the only opening is middle, but it doesn't really make a difference when everybody else is dead and you have one player kind of creeping out mid. They can't deliver enough impact because they've lost every other part of the map. So I think Furia's aggression has been beautiful to watch, and it's been successful. And Ence haven't really found the answers for it.
Two players stacked on mid again. This time the AWP of Art alongside Vinny. They both get early kills. And Ence are thinking about going for these mid fights, but they may think better of it after seeing those 2 CTs.
Vinny's loving that angle up on top of construction. Looks down in behind the boxes. Now gets aggressive for the double kill. Bomb goes down. Just Hat. His death place is the top of the B stairs. Kesera with a closing kill. Round 15. Last round of the first half. 7-7. And started so strong, Alex. But Furia have just been coming back stronger.
They have. Been a complete turnaround here in the first half. And Art is playing a pretty good game so far, which we were wondering if he would be able to do after some of his recent games on this map. Here comes Yuri in behind. Dalto's blind and completely clueless as to the fact that Yuri's managed to run all the way behind him.
Yeah, once again, just losing these opening fights, not getting the trade kills. Dodo was there alone. Didn't even know he was alone, I'm sure. He had no idea what was going on. Like me watching League of Legends, and shot coming in. D has taken a lot of damage. Art down. At least the trade kill comes in, but it's not enough to keep it even because they had initially found so much success, but D-Hat doing his best. He's doing everything. A 3K, avenging every single one of his fallen teammates. And suddenly a chance here for Ence to get an 8th round. It's D-Hat that has done it all. But it's not done yet. So much more still needs to be completed before Ence can feel comfortable. And D has taken significant damage. He's leaking blood as he walks in towards the site. Both Furia players grouped up in towards Elevator. That bomb plant will start to come through. They've got nades, but will D has escape it? He runs and he's going to get out of dodge just about. That is huge. That keeps Ence in touching distance now, Hawker.
Diha may have a chance for a headshot angle. Oh, he's got to be careful, though, because they're closing the distance. Molly goes down alongside the smoke, and Spinks has been caught out. Now Diha has to try his best, but it's so difficult for him to get back in there. It's Furia who turn it round and take the lead at the half.
Fantastic job out of Furia. You can't really say enough about how they adapted and the mental fortitude to come back into the first half there as well, considering how badly they were being dominated by Ence. Now T-side was looking really strong. They had decisive takes, utility was coming in, they were winning a lot of those early fights, but then they stopped winning those early fights. Furia's aggression started working a lot more. Yuri in towards ramp was unstoppable. You couldn't deal with Yuri. She's running down the ramp, and now they've got to refocus as we head into the second half. They need a good start into the pistol round. That just hasn't happened. Art is quicker. It's Dodo down.
The A site doesn't have many defenders right now. Hades was the only player properly here, and he can't slow them down long enough alone. With that smoke up, they should be fine to get the bomb planted, and Ence should have a really hard time on this retake, especially with the second smoke arriving.
Yeah, that is going to make things even more difficult, as if they were nearly impossible to begin with. And the shots rattling through. He has run out into the site. He's hiding behind the default box. Honda's come in with a headshot. Spink's doing well as well. This is still up in the air, but Snappy has lost all of his teammates and now his health as well as he drops down. It's Furia who win the pistol round, continuing their streak of rounds. And the Death did say if Furia were to win this, Art would need to be a central point of their success, and he is leading the way in the kill count, 16 and 8. He's had a fantastic showing here on Vertigo. Right beside him is Caserato, who was doing a lot of the same work alongside Art. He was supplementing some of that aggression in towards B in the first half. So I've been loving this Furia show so far.
Got to make sure they don't get caught out in this one, though. That AK of Art's been taken down to 12 health over towards A ramps. They're going to focus back towards B, where there are a couple of CTs, D-Har being one of them, but good spray control from Vinny gets him out of there, and 2 kills onto the B site should help settle this one.
Utility flies in space, hits the body shot, but no kill for him, and he's landing damage. Just can't get the kills. Luckily, Hades will land his shot. Small gap to play with, but big enough for the kill, and Caserato goes flying by. Headshot onto Spinks, and Hades still getting work done. This is doable now because all the players are damaged up, and Hades gets another one. Vinny down. Another opportunity for Hades, but he's finally taken out of play by Yuri, and it's 3 HP for Yuri, 12 for Art, and Dodo onto the site. He's got the bomb in his possession. Snappy headshot onto Art, and now just 3 HP left on Yuri to save the force again, working out for Ence. This has happened so many times in this series where Furia win the pistol round and just drop down to the force by. And Dodo, with his health, is now playing with his food. He's wrapped around into middle to make sure he's not coming from this part of the map. And with 20 seconds left, he's going to realize he has to be on the site. He'll hear that bomb plant. Not committed to it though, Yuri. Instead, he's going forward, and Dodo knows he's off the bomb now. Starts to creep down silently into the site. Yuri's using the smoke to try and allow himself to cross over. Sound now made for Dodo. He gets aggressive, taking the fight, running over the middle. But Yuri hasn't really even budged. He's using the smoke as cover, using that low health, and there's Dodo with the kill, finally getting it done. It was a long approach to the 1v1, and Dodo realized that's an opportunity Ence can't miss, and Dodo makes sure to secure it.
Oh, Maui must have been sweating about his prediction there, sweating big time. But the 16-9 for Ence is still possible, thanks to the low buy win, and considering they lost those 2 early kills, they did really well, especially as you pointed out, Hades, taking so many opportunities with the scout onto the tagged up players. It looked like he knew quite a few of them were tagged up too, because I feel like he was focusing the body shots there. He was focusing, just making sure the shots landed. And huge props to Dotto again. Really reliable for this team. I think that was pointed out on the desk too, that he can be pretty consistent for them, provide impact when called upon. That was one of those rounds. Hades there looked to land that shot, but not a massive amount of damage done onto Yuri. They're fighting for ramp, but there are AKs on the other side that they have to be aware about.
Oh, Art is a wild spray, and one that hasn't delivered much reward. Down to Snappy. Hades as well, getting it going for Ence. This is much more like it. Tasting success at the start of a round again. It's been a long while since they've had that flavor. Yuri have pushed up with 3 players into the B site. They'll get a bomb plant. That'll secure some money, and Yuri on the AK has found that. It's Spinks who's the victim of the rifle, and Yuri now realizes he's got to fight on 2 fronts, so he has to choose his positions wisely. He knows he's got a little bit of a timing. He can take that construction fight, and the headshots come in. Caserato switched out to the FAMAS, but he hasn't spotted Snappy, who is just out to his left. The flank with Dodo was definitely the most important player in that scenario, but with his time now ticking, the chances are done, especially with that kill from Caserato. And Dodo concedes. He runs away. They needed 2 in a row. They even got the early kills, Alex. But Furia, they've got Yuri. And there's not much you can do about that. Wow.
That's a good find.
Splat.
Yeah, really well played round by Yuri. Hades holding with the AWP initially towards short, but as the round went on, I think just that early kill they get onto Dihar over on B just makes such a big difference. Opens up the round. You oftentimes talk about the anchored player's ability to try and survive, try and be sticky in his position. If he goes down early, as he did there, it gives the T such a good opportunity, such a good amount of time to set up the post plant successfully. And Ence are just going to keep forcing, but they're going to keep having some problems if that's going to continue. Nice shot from Serato. The AK's traded out on ramp, and the one rifle that Ence had has been lost. They're still sticking around on ramp 2. Furia don't want to let them get that AK back.
Another find, another smoke. Clearing out the sandbags. I like that Vinny throws it out to the right side there, Hawker, because often you get an extra a second or a few milliseconds to react once that bangs off the top, and you can get out before it and get a swing, but that molly will start inflicting damage almost immediately. Vinny with the headshot, Serato stepping up as well, now just Spinks, and Serato is bloodthirsty. 20-9. Got sexy gloves and a sexy scoreline. 11-8. I don't think I've used sexy in a cast out before. That have now. Yeah, that felt weird.
Well, that was Ence at their breaking point. Sadly, they have to go ahead and save here, and this has been a hell of a turnaround from Furia. But they are putting themselves in a great position to try and take this best of 3. Pushing to mid. Oh dear. Shot from Art and Serato. Closing the distance somewhat, but Art's just going to go at them with the P250. Absolutely no fear on him.
No, it's just kills available. Art is just going to run in and do his best. He's competing for the top kill count. Serato is really far ahead right now in comparison. Art's just going to try and get every opportunity possible to get back up there. Serato is just having a field day on the server. Here comes the buy note for Ensign. This is so important for them. They've got the AWP out for Hades, M4s, and an AUG around it. They have to be able to pull off this round win, otherwise Furia will start running away with this semi-final. The spot in the grand final on the line. The winner of the final will get $600,000 to give away to a charity of their choice, and that is not a feat do you want to give away. That is a huge prize. Oh, D-Hat gets one on the AUG. Snappy little headshot, but it's the AK of Serato that it's unstoppable.
Oh, Honda losing that fight against Spinks. 2 of the youngsters on the server going at it. D-Hat's been pretty aggressive on that B site, which sometimes can be very effective, sometimes can be concerning if you lose it early. This time he had backup of Snappy, so it wasn't as risky. Here comes the lurk smoke. Dotto was playing an unexpected position, but the smoke took that away from him. He decides to put down a counter smoke of his own to try and slow Furia, but they're still closing the distance, and it's a great shot from Art to get them onto that A-bomb site.
He's blind. It's a perfect flash from Art as well. And now Spinks and Snappy. They have to pull off the retake because that bomb plant's coming in if they like it or not. Snappy coming in from elevator. It's the short play from Spinks. He started his ramp flank, but look at Yuri. He's so ready. And Spinks cannot do anything about it. And Snappy, who has been quiet, continues to be silenced. Art with a 13th round on the board for Furia. That round is just all Art being, first of all, just great with the kills, but also the utility allowing him to neutralize Hades. You don't always need to get the kill to win the fight there. You just need the flash over the top, neutralizes the AWP completely. There's no information passed on, absolutely nothing gained there for Hades. It's taken out of play, and everybody from Furia, as much as it is a cliche, is hitting their shots. There's no one really lagging behind. So it's been great to see.
And this is why, for a long time, this was a map that Furia were really solid on. They pick it quite a lot. It's maybe fallen slightly further down their map pool recently, but they've got a lot of players that are willing to just go for fights constantly, that are willing to brawl. I think it's a map that generally tends to suit them, and we're seeing that here today. 13-8 lead. No real chance for Ence at the start of this round. They've lost 2 players. And Furia continue to just pressure across the whole map at the same time. It honestly has felt like it's just been the individuals that's been the big difference here.
Definitely across the board, you know, a lot of those opening kills in the first half. Once they started going Furia's way, when that aggression just was unstoppable, that was the turnaround. And Ence haven't had much of a say since then. And Caserato is just so honed in. Just watching him, his paths he takes on the B side there, just how he maneuvers around, just his movements on point. Every angle he's ready, he's confident for every fight. He wants to take every fight. You've got players who are that confident in being able to back it up. I think when Furia are in that mindset and it's working for them, some of the best teams in the world can't even shut that down. So, Ence looking like their story might end, you know, in this semi-final. As Furia head up to 14 rounds on the board, money out for Ence, and we often talk about this kind of buy being the last legs underneath. Ence and Furia have gone for the tactical timeout.
I think Furia are one of the teams that do this most often, even when they're up. Maybe just, you know, maybe just making sure that there is something actually to talk about here on the Furia side. You never know. Maybe they're just trying to ensure that everything goes okay for them.
Oh, Alex, you know what I was just thinking about? If this ends 16-9 for Furia, Maui's going to come on and say that he meant Ence lost or something. He's going to try and spin the narrative, isn't he? So just throwing that out there. So we can't be fooled or bamboozled by that.
Yeah, we got it on tape, don't worry. We won't be getting away with that.
Get the footage ready, Hawk, and get the Twitch clips.
Look down from Hades. Let's see if Ence can have a better time of things early in these rounds. They've stacked 4 towards A to fight for ramp. I like this switch up. I think they need this strength in numbers early because they've been losing so many fights. Ollie around the corner from Yuri should force Snappy back. So decent response for Furia, considering there's only 1 man towards ramp. And Furia are going to continue to try and pressure elsewhere. The mid boost might be really well timed.
Molotov into construction, and Caserato has leaped around the corner, bounding up middle. Smoke in the elevator has already been confirmed, and Diha has also thrown a smoke down himself. He wants to play with the smoke. It actually creates a little bit of chaos for the T players as they come on over. Yuri has the bomb, and Dodo's flank gets spotted. Yuri is the man of the flank, and he's always ready for them as well. It's Spinks and Snappy, and this has become a shooting range for Furia. This second half has not even been that close. There's been little glimmers of hope out of individuals, and this might just be another one. Spinks has got a double kill. Yuri is low, and he jumps up. A nice headshot from Spinks. Another chance for him. This might just be the round win now. A 4K. Can he get all 5? Be the best play of the game. And Spinks is going to tap the bomb into the open. Finds Caserato. What a hero round out of Spinks, and there's the 9 rounds. Ence have looked for it, and Spinks delivers.
It was always going to be hard to beat that Tabson play earlier in the day, but Spinks was trying, man, in that round. He gets the ace in a clutch scenario. Not a 1v5 per se, but still a difficult clutch to win for his team. And he had to step up emphatically to win his team this round. It looked so good for Furia to begin with as they split towards this site. Spinks starts coming in with some kills, and out of nowhere makes it happen as he gets back into position. Finally at the end here, trying to find the bomb, realizing Caserato was coming in from the other side. And now Ence have something to get excited about. Their money's still pretty bad though. They've got to make sure they stay focused here, and Hades will stay focused early with a nice shot.
Oh, Dodo. Hopping back into the site. There's rewards. Brilliant beginning for Ence. Honda tries to get through the smoke, and he might just go down to Spinks as well. Maybe this is just the hero play that has injected life and adrenaline into Ence. Maybe there's some belief inside them once again. And it goes down. And as the chat goes, easy for Ence, Alex. Yuri gets forward. Spinks has been able to take him out with the AUG, and Vinny is battling back for Furia, but it's not going to be enough. It's a losing battle at the moment. As long as Ence don't make any monumental errors, this should be their round. And Hades holds. Sees the utility, and now an arm. Unable to take a kill. So he goes up again, changes up the position, and that's a better angle to fight from. Honda stuck in the open, 16 HP, hung out to dry, dead to rights. Walks forward into the site. No one peeking. It's very disciplined from Ence. They don't want to give anything away, especially after they just witnessed Spinks' round, and Diha walks backwards into Honda, at least giving him something, but as soon as that kill comes in, the trade is there. Furia going for another tactical timeout. It's going to be 14 rounds to 10 on the board, so Furia realized, all right, economy still good, still got enough. We can take a deep breath. It's not out of our hands, but Ence certainly feeling a little bit of belief now.
It's a pretty important one for Ence, just because you see it sometimes where the hero play comes through, the big moment that you think is going to save you, and then you lose that next round because you've only had one CT survive and you don't have perfect weaponry or perfect nades. So nice to see that Ence were quick to realize, all right, we won that one, let's just keep focusing. Let's just keep our heads up, make sure we win this next one too. And now Ence will have the luxury of the full rifles, including the AWP into the hands of Hades, who did get the opening kill in that previous round over towards A. The Furia pressure that position again. They've got 3 Ts there early.
Methodical take of the ramp here from Furia. And Ence are going to start leaving B. They're going to bring some players further back. They'll leave one in defense on the B site itself, but they're cheating another man over towards this A site. And Dodo on the edge of the smoke, I love that. That's a cheeky play, and Art gets caught by it. At that point, you've just got to accept that has just happened, and Honda makes the mid play. At least pulls that back very quickly, but I love the opening from Dodo. It's just unfortunate it's short-lived.
Hey, Quesarado trying to find the angle. Nice shot onto Hades, and that should put Furia in position. We need another hero on the Ence side, and Snappy could be about to step up to the plate. Second headshot confirmed, and now this round is busted wide open.
Snappy of all players to deliver the goods. But is it enough goods right now for the round where Dodo's coming in behind? He was the player that started it off for Ence. And Snappy, how impactful can these kills be? And Dodo, he now has a low player right in front of him. He's done it. A 2K to close out the round. He begins and closes it with an 11th round for Ence. And it is Snappy who finds those important, crucial kills that gets them into play. And there we go. The falling body as it hits the ground. That's a very slow dropout. The gravity must be very different here.
I like how he went down T-posing. Don't see that too often. But yeah, man, Ence just keep coming through with these rounds. Oh man, they are impressing us in these scenarios. You know, Spinks with that round earlier, which he just shouldn't have won. And then this one, Snappy had to come through with the impact kills and did a really good job at it. Furia maybe getting slightly ahead of themselves, but the 1v1 fights were given to Snappy and he took them. Now we've got another round, which Ence have to stay focused on, though. Still can't get ahead of themselves. We've still got AKs out for Furia. It's going to have to be a really hard-fought comeback here for the Ence side. Otto has been mollied, so the smoke goes down. There's a nade into the position. Otto taking a good bit of damage early here. And it's going to be hard for him to get out of sandbags, because every single Furia player is here trying to lock him in.
Yeah. But there was a timing where he could have escaped, and now we'll play out from Art. Snappy can take it out of play. Dodo at least gets something from what seemed to be the impossible position at Sandbags, but it's not enough just yet. There's still a man down. The kill from Spinks to the smoke could have happened, but Art, what? What is he doing? Just jumps down in the elevator and dies, but that is the Art way. Live and die by the sword, and he chopped down a few on his way as he went through. But still a 2v3, a one-man advantage for Furia. Looking to close it, looking to get map point finally here in this series. And Spinks chipping away, somehow spotted a bit of Honda in towards Sandbags. No kill though, that could have changed things, and finally he'll get it. Can he get the close one? Casterado somehow gets the double, and now he's just one away from the 30 bomb. Dragging them through as Furia. They're up to series point. They'll be heading to the grand final after just one more round win.
Pulling out from Art was so well adjusted early. And then Caserado, as you said, coming through with even more impact. He threw the orb away at the end there. They want the AKs for this one because they know that Ence are on the verge of being broken and sent out of this tournament. It's just the Deegs on the CT side. We've had some incredible rounds so far. They need another one here. And Dotto delivers a kill early. In comes Hades, but he peeks just before the flashbang, and Art makes him pay.
He charges a lot as well. As you with your life, and now Art wants a little bit more. I heart Art. That's what I'll go with. And he goes around for the peak. Spinks. He's only got the Deagle. He's going to try and soften up his opponent with the HE grenade. It wasn't too far off, doing significant damage there. And somehow Ence have got themselves into pesky positions. Yuri, he's picked out. Unfortunately, Art is always better to trade kill. And Vinny through the smoke yet again. Vinny has had so many smoke kills in this game so far. And the smoke kills might now just be enough to close out this series. Ence have been impressive. They've impressed everybody. They've turned heads in this tournament, but it looks like this is the final road for them. Furia are going to be heading to the grand final. And D-Hat tries best to pull the clutch off, but Furia know they've got this in the bag, and Art closes it out 16-11. It's Furia that move through to the final matchup. It's been great to watch the Brazilians. We'll see if it's a carnival in tomorrow's matchup, but that's it from Hawk and I here for this tournament. It's been a wonderful time, and it's over to you, Sidikist.
Thank you so much. Yes, incredible performance in the end from Furia. They managed to turn the series around and bring things back in their favor. We weren't sure that that was going to happen after they lost Mirage, and then we went on to Ancient. We thought that there might be a real chance they were going to let it slip away. You know what, though? I have to say, one person on our desk did not think that was going to happen at all. Absolutely nailed the predictions. Art was absolutely trash this map. It was definitely 16-9, and man, oh man, I gotta say, you nailed that one. You were spot on the whole time. Maui.
Thank you, Matt.
You could have just stayed quiet and see if Flaren spoke up.
No, I'm saving this. I'm gonna let him speak his piece.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna after he's done.
Well, you know what? I'll just take my... I might just have to step away, might have to walk away. But no, I'll own it up. This was a surprise performance from Furia. For me, at least, they've had some troubles, like Fif and I were saying before the match started, that this hasn't been a kind map to them at all. Vertigo has kind of... It was a strong map for them, even when they had Junior. Obviously, even stronger when they had Henny prior to that. But since the reintegration of Honda, they've looked shaky, to say the best. Whereas Ence has been dominant. They've been beating every team that they faced up against. But today, Furia decided to flip the script, so I have to commend them. And a couple of their players, Caserado in particular, just really locked it down. It really felt like they, in those kind of mid-round situations especially, were able to just break things down, use the proper utility, have the right kind of trading procedures in order to secure some of those closer rounds. And there were quite a few close ones at that.
All right,
From my
Flaren,
end, I mean, the question mark that we had